I am here to help your sick grandmother.
Ganon?
Watch as I assemble porridge.
Please, no!
Feed this dish to her.
What is going on?
Ladies, gentlemen, and Hylians of all ages, have you ever wanted to embody the spirit of Ganondorf himself? Okay, weird question. I know, who starts a conversation like that? Let's restart. In Tears of the Kingdom, there are tons of things to occupy yourself with, whether it be story quests, side quests, equipment gathering, or even just messing around with the crazy physics engine in the game. But I am a firm believer that some things are better done earlier rather than later, and one of the main ones in this game is collecting armor sets. Every armor set in the game tends to have some sort of niche that makes it the best at what it does, and so if you have all of them, you will be ready for anything. With that said, one of our sets today not only looks badass as hell, but also lets you make friends with skeletons and be more powerful while wielding parts of the skeletons' bodies. But that set takes quite a bit of doing to acquire, so we'll save that for later on. Without further ado then, let's get on with another 4 incredible armor sets you need to collect on your journey through Tears of the Kingdom. Number 1, Frostbite set. Ever been in a cold area, fighting some enemies, and wish they just sort of like stop moving, stop attacking? Well, this set accomplishes that with no issues at all, with the skill Cold Weather Attack. What this does is anytime you are in a cold area, it adds an ice element flourish to your attacks with any weapon. This doesn't affect every single swing, but it does affect both the final attack in a combo, as well as any charge attack that you do. On top of this, if you were to upgrade the armor a few times, it also increases the speed at which your charge attacks charge when you're in cold weather, making it a particularly strong battlesuit in icy climates. Not to mention that it gets a cool blue glowing effect whenever you are in these areas, and that glow is what signifies whether the skill is active or not, only happening when you're in the right place. As far as collecting the set then, each piece comes from a different cave, all within the general Hebra region. The first one is in the south, just east of the Arumawak Shrine. Head over there if you have it to find Brightcap Cave. In here there are some enemies, you can fight them or you can totally ignore them, up to you. Enter the cave, follow the path forward until it opens up to a larger room, take an immediate right and you'll see some brambles in front of a chest. Either use fire in some capacity to remove the thorns, or just climb the walls next to it to avoid them and open the chest behind it to find the Frostbite shirt. Your next cave is at the northwestern edge of the Hebra Headspring River. There are no shrines near here, so you'll have to just trek on foot or use a nearby Skyview tower, but once you reach the spot, there is simply a cave at the end of this river. And here are some icy pillars. Climb the small one, use it to climb the larger one, and then across from you is a little alcove with a chest. The only way that I found to get in there properly was using the gust power from the Wind Temple, but I'm sure you can find a more creative way without that power too. In the chest up here is the Frostbite trousers. After that, head to the final cave at the very northern end of Lake Kilsey over here, and once you enter the cave there is a Horoblin at the front that again you can choose to ignore. Run past and you'll see an air gust coming from below that lets you glide straight up to the top of this cavern. Look to the east as you're flying up and you'll see some icicles blocking a rock wall. Use a bomb flower to bust the rock wall open and fling yourself in there to find the chest with the Frostbite headdress. Set acquired, simple as that. Number 2, the Zora set. This one is a bit more finicky but also quite strong to have when you want to have it. The general skill on each armor piece is swim speed up, which does exactly what it says on the tin, simply making you swim faster in water. But 2 of the pieces also have unique secondary effects. The chest piece allows you to swim up waterfalls, which is an invaluable skill anytime that you come across a waterfall for the rest of the game, especially as some are specifically placed for this skill to be useful. The helmet lets you attack while swimming by executing a forward spin attack.
I'll try spinning, that's a good trick.
The legs don't do anything special, just more of that swim speed up skill. With that said then, let's dive into how to get the different pieces. First up, for the chest piece, progress the Zora questline just a little bit. This is a main quest, so you have some handy markers to help out, and then you'll reach a stage of this quest early on that has to do with repairing a tablet. Once you've repaired said tablet, go talk to Prince Sidon by the Ehenna Shrine atop Ploymus Mountain nearby, and then climb the staircase beside him to reach a pool at the end of it which has an ancient arowana fish flying around in it. Swimming around in it. Why did I say flying? Make sure you grab one of those fish, okay? Then you can go find Lady Yona down in the main section of Zora's domain, under the throne room itself in the healing pools. Talk to her here and she'll mention that she has the Zora armor in her possession, but needs an ancient arowana fish to fix it. Convenient, huh? Give it to her and she'll give you the chest piece. After that, you can go ahead and get the helmet immediately, but it's worth mentioning there is a quest to acquire this once you finish the Water Temple. It doesn't block anything if you get the helmet early. The quest simply gives you a hint as to where to to go to get it, which again, you can do without the quest. That said, head back up to the Ihenna Shrine on top of the mountain, and on the eastern side of this area, you will see a floating island in the distance with a waterfall flowing down from it. Glide off of the cliff wearing your pretty new Zora armored chest piece, fly into the waterfall while gliding, and you will automatically swim up to the top of it. Head towards the backside of the island, and when you pass the fin-shaped structure on the north side, you can jump off and glide to this little hidden alcove on this side of the island. Once in here, you will find the chest containing the Zora helm. As for the final piece then, for that you do need to have completed the water temple. Once you have, you can find Lady Yona again in front of the throne room to Zora's domain. She will tell you about a legend with information on the Greaves. Simply head back over to the whirlpool in the middle of the East Reservoir Lake and drop in to enter the ancient Zora Waterworks, which you were in as part of the quest. The main difference between when you were here as part of the Water Temple quest and now is that there is far less water in this cave. Head to the back of the main chamber behind the pillar itself and you will see a brand new hole. Drop down the hole and head forwards. A stone talus boss will spawn, which you can choose to fight or ignore, up to you, and behind the waterfall at the end of the room on the far side is a chest containing the Zora Greaves. Number 3, the Radiant set. This set is aesthetically cool, giving you an awesome skeletal glowing frame when in the dark with a real Day of the Dead kind of vibe to it. It's just a great looking armor set, and if you upgrade it enough using the Great Fairies, it actually gets a set bonus for wearing all 3 pieces, which is Disguise, making you friendly to skeletal enemies unless provoked, as well as Bone Weapon Proficiency, which increases the damage you do with bone weapons of all types. To get this armor then, head to Kakariko Village just out east of the starting area and find the armor shop within the town. And here there are 2 different armor sets, the Radiant set and the Stealth set, and both of them cost a whopping 5,000 rupees per each armor piece, which is of course insane, and no one would expect you to actually spend that much. If you talk to the shopkeeper, they'll tell you about the prices that have been hiked up in an attempt to help their sick grandmother. As you may expect, fixing the issue with her grandmother will in fact lower these prices to a much more reasonable cost. With that said, head out towards the eastern edge of the Kakariko village and you'll find this little lass sitting beside a cooking pot. Talk to her and she'll tell you more and inform you that her grandmother has gloom corruption, essentially, but will only eat porridge. As a result, you need to make a specific dish to heal her. The dish in question requires Hylian rice, fresh milk, and a Sundelion. Sundelions are found all over the place, especially on Sky Islands, including the tutorial island itself, so they are easy to get. You can just go back there, grab a few from the grassier areas. The other 2 items are only sold by vendors around the map, and lucky for us, both of them can be bought from a vendor that wanders the road west out of this village. So simply head west out of the village until you come upon the merchant. He doesn't have an exact location for me to ping for you on the map as he moves around, but just follow this road until you see him. He will always be going back and forth along it. Buy the ingredients for the hefty price of 24 rupees total, oh my god, and head back to the cooking pot that we started over here. Make this incredibly complex dish and offer it to the woman next to you, then some lovely cutscene type shenanigans will happen, and if you head back to the shop, the Radiant set will be entirely purchasable for 800 rupees per piece, which is a much more acceptable price. As well, the Stealth set will also have a much lowered price too if you want that. Number 4, the Evil Spirit set. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking armor sets in the entire game, and as if that wasn't enough reason to get it, it also has stealth up on every single piece, making it easier to sneak up on enemies or sneak around and get fairies, stuff like that. And if you wear all 3 pieces of the set, it gets a proper set bonus too, the same one that the Radiant set gets when it's upgraded significantly, Disguise, which allows you to hang out with some skeletal friends, and then it also has Bone Weapon Proficiency, which is essentially attack up, but specifically for bone-based weapons, and of course stacks with the original attack up skill. The thing that makes this set special is not only the visuals of it being absolutely gorgeous, but it gets this set bonus without any upgrading at all, and has the stealth up skill on it too. As for how to get it, that is a bit more of a challenge, in fact, the longest outing we have in our list here today, so get ready for a bit of a journey, though not a crazy one. This is all based around the Lome labyrinths around the map. There are 3 of them that exist, and technically each of those is split into 3 tiers, so you could argue that there are actually 9 labyrinths, but the reward that you get for completing each location is 1 piece of this armor set. You can do them in any order, but this is the order I did myself. First head to the northeastmost point of the map by Ancient Akala Tech Lab, and then you can simply glide off towards the weird cube in the distance. With some effective gliding techniques, you can land on top of the structure itself, follow my path here to the less open area, and drop down right here. Then at the top of this ladder, you can ascend right through the floor here and round 1 more corner to reach the end of the first tier, the first labyrinth. Each labyrinth has a ground level tier, a sky level tier, and a depths level tier. The ground level is super easy because you can climb all the way to the top and just find your way to the middle. The sky level requires traversal ability that you'll have to put a bit more effort into, and the depths is always a boss fight. Palm to the green here in this room and it will tell you that you've unlocked the sky level of this labyrinth. There is also a shrine in this room that you can complete for free. Next up, head to the Ulri Mountain Skyview Tower, launch yourself up here, and then take out one of the glider zonate devices right in front of you, flying directly back in the direction of the labyrinth, but in the air this time. Follow this path until you reach a sky island as you see here. On this island, there is a pre-built hovercraft and some spare batteries lying around. Attach a bunch of these spare batteries to the hovercraft so it has more charge, then simply ride this hovercraft towards the labyrinth like so. Once you're here, there is a shrine to activate behind you so you can fast travel back whenever you'd like to, then palm to the green to activate the challenge. I would highly recommend going into your settings menu here and enabling Lock Minimap to North, as the easiest way to follow my path through the labyrinth is simply to watch my movements on the minimap itself and follow them. I will make the minimap larger for this section as well, just so you can see it a bit easier. The sky labyrinths are full of updrafts, and just test your ability to get around with a glider. There are tons of platforms to land on to refill your stamina when it gets low. There is no real easy way to explain the path over voice, so instead I'll just let you watch it for yourself so you can follow it. Once you have activated the 4 terminals within the labyrinth, simply open your glider up and you will fling to the top. Palm to the green up here in the middle and then jump off of the provided platform in front of you to dive straight down into the depths. Either use bright blooms to light up the area or simply follow the lanterns provided the direction that I go and you'll find a room with a Flux Construct 3 boss. These bosses are relatively simple. You can hit the glowing box with a bomb flower and then just beat it up with your main hand weapon, or if you don't want to use bomb flowers, just get close to it and use Ultra Hand to grab the glowing box specifically and you can pull it out with your right stick if you pull on it long enough. Then once again, beat up the little box with your melee weapons. Once the boss is dead, they will drop some goodies, pick them up, and find the terminal within the room. Once again, palm to the green right here. This will cause a chest to rise from the floor containing the Evil Spirit armor piece. Next up, we want to head to the southern Lome Labyrinth, located way down here by Gerudo Desert on your map. And again, we need to start with the ground level, so fly on over here. I'd recommend flying over from the nearby Skyview Tower with a stop at a nearby Sky Island along the way that you'll just hit naturally. Use this for a quick stamina recharge, then simply glide your way to the labyrinth in the distance. You can follow my path here, and it is in fact made easier with the glide armor if you have it as well. Once you arrive on top of this labyrinth, follow the tops of the walls over to the middle. Once you see these lights drop down to the left under this little overhang here is the path that leads to the terminal below. Palm to the green on the terminal and ground level completed. Head back to the Skyview Tower one more time, and we'll be going to the same Sky Island as before, but this time to pick up the pre-constructed fan glider here. Add a rocket to the tail for initial propulsion if you want to, and this step is optional, but if you have a steering stick zonite device in your inventory, stick it in the middle. It just makes it a bit easier. This journey will take a lot of battery charge, so you may need to use some consumables unless you farmed up a lot of battery levels yourself. Follow the path here then, and you'll land nicely at the start of the Sky Tier to this labyrinth. Again, there is a shrine here to unlock a fast travel point if you want it, and then palm to the green to start the challenge itself. This one is essentially identical to the last Sky Labyrinth, just with a different path, so once again, I will enlarge the minimap and let you follow my movements. Then, once you've hit all 4 of the terminals, again, you can glide right up to the top really easily, touch the terminal in the middle, and then dive off of the platform here to reach the depths level of the labyrinth. Once you land down here, head directly north, drop down, and turn around for a room with another Flux Construct 3 boss. Exactly the same procedure here. Defeat the boss, a terminal will appear, touch it, and a chest will pop up containing the Evil Spirit Mask armor item. With that then, we have one more labyrinth to conquer. This time it's the North Lome Labyrinth, located, you guessed it, on the northern edge of the map, just a little bit to the west of the middle. Over here, of course. Get here any way that you please. Personally, I just glided over from the nearby Skyview Tower, but you can approach on foot, no problem for this one too. Outside of the labyrinth is a bundle of sticks with a flint on top of it, and 5 feet in front of you is a pine cone. Strike the flint to create a fire, lob the pine cone onto the fire to make an updraft, ride this updraft with your glider to the top of the labyrinth's wall. It's almost like they wanted us to skip the ground levels of these, right? Follow this wall to the center of the area, then hop down on the right just a bit past the center right here. You will find a ladder down here, climb it up, and then follow the stairs in front of you, and you'll see a shrine covered in ice. You can melt this down for a fast travel point, but if you turn around, you'll see the terminal that you're after here. Palm to the green, and this unlocks the sky tier of the labyrinth. With that then, head back to the Skyview Tower. Launch up it, and your goal is to reach this specific sky island over here. I'll let the path play out just so you can be sure where you're going from here. Once on the island, grab the fan and attach it like this so it is essentially propelling the floating platform on a diagonal angle forwards towards the last labyrinth. Then if you have a rocket in your inventory, it makes this journey a lot faster too. Place it on top and activate the devices to ride this platform towards your destination. Once again, when you arrive, shrine for fast travel purposes, otherwise head to the terminal and palm to the green. From here, it's exactly like the other two Sky Tier labyrinths, so I'll be quiet and let you follow my path once more. At this point, you know the process. With all 4 terminals activated, you can ride the wind gust upwards to the top and touch the terminal in the middle of the area. This will activate the depths tier of the labyrinth, and then you can jump off the provided platform to dive down into the chasm. This time when you land, head west down some stairs, follow them around, and they'll leave you above another Flux Construct 3 boss. Light up the room, defeat the boss, it'll leave behind some goodies and a terminal. Palm to the green, and the final chest here will spawn, this one containing the Evil Spirit Greaves. And with that, not only do you have this armor set fully collected, which is quite strong and incredibly aesthetically cool, you have also completed the Lome Labyrinths, one of the major side activities around the map. That'll do it for today then, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy getting to use these amazing armor sets for the rest of your journey through Tears of the Kingdom. Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.